Even Floyd, like when you make yourself like we got issues on your anger, he's still the best fighter out there. Until somebody beat him, that's who he is.
Do you think he should step back in the ring?
I think he got to right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone?
Yeah. That's what you think. It's fight, get the money, spend the money, fight.
All that money?
It's been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like with the lifestyle, that money's gone, trust me. Now it's like, you call him, he'll be at your local hostel in a nightclub because you need that action right now.
Wow.
Are Floyd's comments potentially in breach of contract? He could blow the whole fight up and never fight and also have taken a cash advance on the fight he may not ever have. He's broke. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. Floyd is so badly hurting for money that this is the stuff he's doing. Knowingly signing contracts for a pro fight just to go and publicly undermine it while taking a cash advance. Essentially going, cool, I need that money now.
Floyd Mayweather is reportedly facing increasing financial strain as new claims suggest the IRS has filed a lien against several of his assets over outstanding tax debt. The reported balance is believed to be close to $7.3 million, tied to alleged unpaid taxes connected to the years 2018 through 2023.
Is being targeted by the IRS over unpaid taxes, with some of his properties and assets being held on lien until the full balance is paid off. And if not, said assets will be fully taken away. This report comes from Business Insider, but is also now being reported by Ring Magazine, in which they reveal that the IRS has filed a lien versus Mayweather in Las Vegas, currently putting a hold on Mayweather's Vegas property due to unpaid taxes stemming from 2018 and 2023 that have now ballooned to $7.3.
Reports indicate the situation is being viewed as a major tax dispute rather than a small financial problem. Based on the allegations, officials have already taken legal action that may involve limiting access to or placing holds on certain Las Vegas properties until the claimed balance is settled. If the reported debt remains unpaid, those assets could eventually face seizure as part of the collection process.
Trash because he wants a rematch. You think he actually wants?
Absolutely.
You think he wants a rematch?
Look, another reason why he's crawled out of his rock, he needs money.
You think he needs money?
Absolutely.
He's always flossy.
It's absolutely, he needs money.
You think he's going
Once
broke?
Again, come on. Fighters like that always go broke.
He's always spending, so I guess.
Absolutely. Look, he's not fighting anymore, so that big money's not coming in. Look at what happened to Mike Tyson. He made what, $500 million?
Right.
You think you can spend $500 million overnight? Absolutely.
What reportedly makes the situation even more serious is the timing surrounding it all. The claims arrive during a period when Floyd Mayweather is already facing rising public attention over his financial operations and business ventures, which have been questioned for quite some time. In addition, there has been increasing interest in discussions surrounding a possible future bout with Manny Pacquiao, keeping Mayweather heavily in the public eye and bringing even greater attention to the overall circumstances.
Mayweather's broke. I said, no. He's like, no, really. Mayweather's broke. Now, I don't know if it's true.
Right.
This is what this guy told me. I'm like, how could he be broke? He's like, yo, he spends like crazy.
Yeah.
Spends like
I
crazy.
mean, it only could go but so long. I mean, and you're not fighting.
Yeah.
Because I don't see Mayweather even doing any goofy like that.
But you would think that your investments would continue to grow.
Right.
As long as you keep.
Although Floyd Mayweather has publicly referred to the rematch as an exhibition bout, reports claim he may have already agreed to terms for an official professional fight, which could lead to possible legal complications if those conditions are not fulfilled. At the same time, there are also allegations that the fight agreement itself was reportedly used as collateral for a loan, creating even more speculation and concern surrounding the financial matters taking place behind the scenes.
Is that what he's feeling? But he signed a real fight.
So it's for sure.
Yes, the contract that we signed is a real fight.
Real fight. Okay. Yeah, because I know he said.
I wouldn't fight an exhibition.
No exhibition. It's either real fight or nothing.
Yeah, it's a real fight. Yeah.
Is Spears still in Las Vegas?
That's the contract that he signed. I mean,
Yeah. Okay, so it's still happening then.
he has to remember that.
But it's still on. It's still happening.
Oh yeah, we did sign the contract already. So There's no reason why,
Why wouldn't?
why wouldn't you?
In addition, reports allege that multiple Mayweather Boxing Plus fitness locations were forced to close because of problems involving unpaid rent and missing employee salaries, with some staff members reportedly walking away after failing to receive compensation. There are also claims that Manny Pacquiao became involved by taking control of one of the gym locations and giving it a new brand identity. These reported developments have sparked even more concern about the way the business operations are being handled, as several parties are now said to be connected to the situation, including tax officials, investors, and business associates. Pressure for explanations appears to be increasing rapidly. For someone like Floyd Mayweather, who built much of his public reputation around luxury, power, and financial dominance, these reports are beginning to paint a far different image than the one fans have seen for years.
I boxed everybody, and it's so crazy. Like, I had a lot of great days, I had a lot of bad days in the gym. But I tell them I never have bad paydays.
Dimitri Salita told me a story that one time a big heavyweight, a known heavyweight, challenged you. You told Leonard to go get your bag, and you dropped him with the body shot.
In a boxing gym, it don't count. You can have good days, you can have bad days. A lot of times guys do good in the gym. They be happy. They feel like if you done good with Floyd Mayweather in the gym, oh, I want a world title, Well, you got to really look at this now. Slow down. You go home to an apartment. I go home to a palace. There's a difference.
Now, Floyd,
when you say your name, when they say these fighters' names, they say thousands and millions. When you say money.
The silence from Floyd Mayweather and his attorneys has only added to the uncertainty surrounding the situation, especially with several separate issues reportedly connected and few clear answers being provided. With so many details still unresolved, there does not appear to be a simple outcome at this point, whether everything is handled behind closed doors or eventually turns into a much larger legal and financial battle. What is becoming increasingly obvious is that this situation could represent one of the most significant personal and business-related challenges Mayweather has encountered outside of his boxing career.
IRS, how much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to
it's
pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this. He makes so much money. There's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
As the situation surrounding Floyd Mayweather begins to appear like a serious legal and financial controversy, Timothy Bradley has shared a very different viewpoint. Rather than expressing panic or concern, Bradley believes there is a possibility that everything is developing according to Mayweather's original business strategy. He is not completely defending him, but instead analyzing the situation from the perspective of someone familiar with both boxing and promotion deals, pointing out that upfront payments can sometimes be used as financial leverage when handled properly. Bradley suggests that if Mayweather managed to secure funding in advance and organize the agreement carefully, then shifting the event from a professional contest to an exhibition may not automatically indicate chaos or problems behind the scenes. According to that view, it could instead be part of a calculated business plan from the beginning.
Did that. But you can. You can put a non-refundable attachment on this and be like, all right, hey, I need an advancement for training. I need $3-4 million or whatever for training expenses. And if they agree to say yeah, and he put in a contract that is non-refundable.
What makes Bradley's comments especially interesting is that while many people are viewing the situation as confusion or possible financial trouble, Timothy Bradley believes Floyd Mayweather may actually be operating several moves ahead, handling financial responsibilities, easing pressure, and reshaping the circumstances to fit his current stage in life as a fighter in his 40s who no longer wants to accept unnecessary danger unless the deal fully benefits him. However, Bradley also acknowledges that this is where the situation becomes difficult, because if a boxer officially signs an agreement for a legitimate professional fight, those terms are expected to be respected, and attempting to alter the conditions afterward could potentially lead to major legal and contractual consequences.
Free money. So we know, Mayweather was, it's been reported, I should say, allegedly, that, he's been, a little upside down on some of his taxes and some of his properties. And he needed to come back and fight and take care of that. Well, he got some cheese from.
There is now a noticeable tension forming where Floyd Mayweather may be approaching the situation more like a businessman, while the boxing world and the systems around him continue to view him as a traditional fighter expected to follow standard rules and obligations. That clash in expectations is what could make the entire situation far more complicated. Timothy Bradley also believes Mayweather may have already relieved some financial pressure through advance payments, shifting the narrative away from desperation and more toward calculated strategy and control. Even so, the outside scrutiny is still very real. Tax agencies, contractual agreements, and business associates are all reportedly paying close attention. Because of that, the bigger question may not simply be what Mayweather chooses to do next, but whether he can successfully align every moving part around him to match that vision. And considering his long history of major negotiations and business decisions, many people would not completely dismiss that possibility.
That money he received, I'm pretty out, man. Damn it, I don't know for sure, but damn it, I'm probably about. I know I'm 85, 90%. I'm telling you, because he wouldn't. I don't think he'll be doing this. You know, this is business. So he's just saying, I understand it was a real fight, but now I want to change it. I want to change it now. I got my advancement. Now I want to.
As Timothy Bradley frames the situation through a business lens, Shane Mosley offers a completely different viewpoint centered on what could actually happen inside the ring rather than contracts or finances. Having shared the ring with both Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, Mosley speaks from first-hand experience, which gives his opinion added weight. Instead of making confident predictions, he takes a more measured and cautious approach, suggesting that Mayweather may not be at the same physical sharpness he once was, potentially a bit slower and more open to being hit, which naturally leads some to believe Pacquiao could have an edge. However, he also balances that by noting Pacquiao could face his own issues, whether in preparation, timing, or other unknown factors, which keeps the outcome uncertain. In the end, Mosley revisits their contrasting styles and reminds audiences why this matchup has always been so difficult to call, since it may ultimately come down less to reputation and more to who shows up in slightly better condition on the night.
Same Floyd that he was back in the day. So, you know, maybe he's a little bit older and he's not moving as much. And you know that when you get a little bit older, sometimes you have the same foot movements, stuff like that, and you're able to get hit with certain shots. So maybe Manny has a chance to get in there and do some stuff. But Manny also has some, seem like some complications with I don't know if he had some kind of a stroke or something in the sparring with that. I thought I seen. So, I mean, there's stuff going on with him too as well. So, yeah, you know, we will see.
Manny Pacquiao is widely recognized for his relentless pressure style, throwing high punch volumes and maintaining constant forward aggression that forces opponents into sustained defensive stress. In contrast, Floyd Mayweather operates in a very different rhythm, relying on timing, defensive awareness, and in-fight adjustments that resemble a tactical chess match rather than a brawl. When Shane Mosley describes Mayweather as more difficult to decode but Pacquiao as the heavier hitter, it neatly captures the core contrast between them. One dismantles opponents through precision and control, while the other overwhelms through speed and intensity. Mosley also reflects on a moment where he managed to hurt Mayweather, yet he acknowledges that the opening was brief and quickly neutralized, reinforcing how rapidly Mayweather can recover, adapt, and regain control. That experience underscores a recurring theme in his career: fail to capitalize immediately, and the chance against him disappears. When applied to a potential rematch in the present day, the entire dynamic shifts, because both fighters are older, slower, and operating with reduced margins for error. As a result, the narrative moves away from past rivalry and unfinished business, and instead becomes a completely new contest defined by their current condition, timing, and physical reality.